So when you look 7 years back or something, I think most VR solutions, and there were definite VR solutions back then for corporate problems, for example. And then VR was much more bulky. You had these sensors, and you had suits on, and you had way bigger headsets you would strap to your head. And what we've seen over the past years is that things got smaller and smaller. Now we don't have external sensors anymore. We don't need a PC anymore. We have standalone systems with just 2 controllers, which were for long the holy grail of VR research. For decades, this was really the thing. This was the holy grail.
Okay.
And so you will probably see 2 things there. So the entry point will have to get even easier, it has to become even cheaper, even easier to get into. And that's sort of on the low end side of the market, because there's still, it's a hassle, right? Getting out your VR headset. You see something on your phone, you say, oh yeah, this is interesting. Okay, I want to see this in VR. Okay, then I have to open the same link on my headset and do that. First put it on. It takes a few minutes, and you want to make that as easy as possible. So that's sort of on the low end of the scale. But then on the really immersive side of the scale, you also, and that's not something new. You have suits, and you have full motion sensing. You have other senses being used in VR experiences to make it even more immersive. I think there are definitely use cases for that. For artists will use that, and really so surgical simulations, for example, where this whole tactile element is really important.
Yeah.
We will definitely see these use cases, but it's still a really niche. It will remain a niche, I guess. I don't think a lot of people will wear a suit either in school or at home.
Yeah.
So augmented reality is going to be a lot more important in the coming years. And it's good to realize that AR technology is really, I think it might now be somewhere in the phase VR technology was 7 years ago or something, with the Oculus Rift development kit coming out. And there's still all these technical challenges in there, but there are still technical challenges in there, technical challenges to solve. But in the coming years, the whole AR space will be much larger, I think, than VR, because VR is something you do and you're completely isolated from the world. It's something you do for perhaps an hour a day or something, or for a specific use case. But augmented reality headsets really have to promise that they could be something that we would wear for large amounts of the day. And sometimes they don't show us anything when we just have to concentrate on what we're doing, and sometimes they show us a 3D model of something that we're talking about, or sometimes they translate the text that we're reading, or sometimes they help us when we try to learn something, or they do a game in the real world. In the longer run, AR is going to be much bigger, but the question remains when that will be, because there are still technical challenges there. And so it's now mostly aimed at these industrial use cases. One, because there are expensive use cases there, and 2 is because people there often already wear a helmet, for example, and then it makes more sense to attach an AR headset to it.
Yeah.
But this whole, what you mentioned with aura picking, this whole, I really find that concept fascinating. How can we have smart glasses that augment our cognitive abilities in a way that we actually use while doing the job, that help us whenever we have to do something we're not completely familiar with. How can we have an expert give us directions from a distance, or how can we have automated systems that really tell us what to do in a certain working environment? Can we use it to sort of close the skills gap? That's really fascinating to me, because it's somewhere in the middle, right? It's somewhere in the middle between education and actually doing the job. And it's sort of doing the job with side wheels. Is that even a word? You try to make things easier for people while on the job. And that's really interesting.